This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. One of my favorite companies is Flying Pigs Games. I'm not going to make any bones about it. I love Mark Walker and everything that he and his company do. I've loved the games. I love 65, Night of Men. I love the art. I love everything that they have built into their games, and the oversized chits, which I just absolutely love, especially, I'm getting up there in years. But there's a beauty and an immersion with their games that is second to none, and I find that I get sucked in every single time. So it's no different that when Armageddon War came to my doorstep, I was giddy like a little kid at Christmas, and boy, was I not disappointed. I'm not going to show you everything. I'm not going to explain all the rules, because we're going to save that for a solo play and a live play. But we're just going to go over, I'm going to show you some of the really cool things that you get with Armageddon War. And there's an expansion too, but we're going to cover that another time. So, without further ado, let's go down and take a peek at this. Now, I can't explain everything in this game, and I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview. First of all, it comes with a great reference guide, which is just absolutely fantastic. As you can see here, this is your firepower, type, and range. Your range is the smaller number. Your firepower is the 7, as you can see. There's two colors. The top number is your is gold, so that's what you're mainly going to be able your primary firepower. And then underneath, as you can see, it's red in a burst. That is your secondary firepower. You have your defense value and your movement value and the type of movement. Okay, tracks for T, W is wheeled, and I is infantry. Nationality, what type of tank, and pretty much your basic chit. Now the chits are fantastically sized, of course, and they're just spectacular. And if you look at these are just unbelievable. Now what happens is, the reason I pointed out the top and the secondary value is, here we have a 7, which is firing into a 1. So that means you would get 6 dice. You start with black dice. Now, depending on modifiers, if it's short range, long range, terrain, and stuff like that, you are going to upgrade and downgrade dice. You would downgrade to green, which means you would remove a dice and add a green. And if you're upgrading, you would, of course, upgrade to red. Then you would roll and see what the damage is. Depending on the damage, you will take different markers, which will cause you different actions, which will cause you whether you couldn't move or stuff like that. So this is the first. This is the first hit that you would take. The second hit is pinned. The third is shaken. The fourth is a damage type, and then finally destruction, which, well, then you get this nice little wreck marker, and guess what? You are gone. Now again, this doesn't explain all the combat and how the dice work and stuff like that, but you are going to count up all these pips, and you're going to apply damage and take your turn. Your turn isn't a turn. It's a series of impulses. Now what happens is, for every unit that we have here, we have a token also. And what happens is, these tokens get put into a jar, and we are going to pull out, and then that person's going to go. Once that person goes, we're going to put that on the track. And then we pull out the next chit, and then finally the next chit, and they would do all their actions. After everybody has taken their actions, these two here would go back into the pot. This unit actually skips a turn. So what happens is that this one would go, and guess what? Then this unit would skip a turn, and we would put these into the pot and pull them out. So you have a chance You have to be very smart in your movement, your firing, and everything that you're trying to do, because at some point you're not going to be able to move, fire, or do anything. And it's really just an interesting system, and it's very strategic. Now the game comes with a fantastic rule book. Mark, once again, just hitting it out of the park. Everything's explained, as well as a walkthrough. And again, as I said, certain types of terrain and long range, close range will give and take away dice as you fight. It comes also with a fantastic campaign. So you can play this in a campaign setting, which is just unbelievable and really, really just fantastic. And again, explains everything. Everything's crystal clear. And then, of course, Mr. Porter decided to have a strategy guide, which gives you some insight about the game. There are times when you could be rolling no dice whatsoever. You can go up against a unit, have your turn, want to fire, but there's no chance of rolling dice because some units are not going to be able to attack due to certain situations. And again, it also explains how I explained the how hit value is. Color to color is 1. Secondary color is, it would take 2 pips, and 3 for off color to completely different color shield. Everything just spelled out for you. Fantastically done. All the units explained. Unbelievable. Again, what can I say? There's only one thing to do. Let's go on up top and get out of here and get my final thoughts on what I consider a completely tremendous game. I'm giving it away, aren't I? Let's go up top. Wow, 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 wow. And you know, when I say that, I'm really thrilled with something, and Armageddon War does it for me. Flying Pig Games, once again, Mark Walker, Greg Porter. Man, I felt immersed in this. The art, the board, the chits with the units. I was like, wow, this is really kind of cool. And I like how these terrorists are. Maybe I want to be them, or maybe I want to be the good guys. But you got sucked in, and it just sucked you in. Now listen, I didn't even come close to explaining the rules. And the reason for that is I probably would sit here for 40 minutes explaining some very easy to follow and great rules. And combat, there's a lot more to it. And once you see it played out, I think that's the best explanation for it. And that's why I didn't go too far in it. I gave you a brief overview. But the key here is that we're going to be doing this solo using the expansion Burning Lands, and I want to show that off because it has the solo variant, another board added, and a bunch of just cool, unbelievable chits with it, of course. And then I'm going to do a play against the Jarl himself. If you guys follow the channel, then you know who I'm talking about, where him and I are going to go at it head to head with just the Armageddon War. And I think that's the best way I can teach you the game, is taking it step by step as he learns, as I learn. And yeah, maybe we'll make some mistakes, but also you'll get to see how this system works. And I've already play tested it, and I really, really like it. I love it. That strategy guide explains everything. Fantastic job. Everything is clear and concise in this manual and easy to understand. And that's the winner part of it. It's easy to understand. This is a masterpiece. I'm going to give it one of my highest ratings ever, and that's 4.6 out of 5. I absolutely love this. Mark, you keep making those games, I'm going to keep on playing them, and I can promise you that. For War and Pieces, I'm Rob Warren, and until next time, we'll see you soon.